My name is Arthur Cota. I am 95 years old. If you're watching this, you're likely young, full of breath, and under the dangerous illusion that your time is renewable. I am here to tell you that it is not. I am the man you will become in 50 or 60 years, if you are lucky. I am a letter sent from a place you haven't reached yet, the finish line. You're currently navigating a world of noise, chasing futilities that will turn to ash the moment your hair grays. I spent 70 years doing exactly that. I lived a life that looked perfect on paper, but was hollow in the chest. I was a man of high standing, a man of success, yet I was walking toward my grave in a deep, dreamless sleep, until I met a woman who had already lived an entire century. Her name was Eleanor. She was 101 years old when she left this world, and she was the only person who ever truly woke me up. But I found her too late. We had so little time, and that is my burden to carry. If you listen to me today, if you truly listen, I might be able to save you from the same silent ache that haunts my nights. Stay with me. I have a century of fire to share with you, and the sun is setting fast.
Before Eleanor, I was a ghost in a well-tailored suit. I was the Arthur Cota everyone respected. I had the career, the corner office, the retirement accounts that grew like silent monsters. I measured my life in milestones that the world told me were important. I treated my days like a checklist: graduate, marry, earn, accumulate, repeat. I remember the smell of those decades. They smelled of stale office coffee and the ink on contracts that no longer exist. I was efficient. I was the man who never missed a deadline, but missed every sunset. I lived for tomorrow. I told myself I'll start living when the kids are through college. I'll find joy when the mortgage is paid. I'll be free when I retire. I was building a palace of security, but I was the only prisoner inside it. I didn't recognize the emptiness then. It just felt like being an adult. I was successful by every metric society uses, but looking back from 95, I see the truth. I was a well-funded tragedy. My life was like a cup of coffee without a single grain of sugar, bitter, dark, and consumed only out of habit. I was waiting for a life that was never going to arrive because I was too busy preparing for it. Then, when the ink on my story felt like it was drying, I went to a dance, and there she was. She was 80 years old when our paths first crossed, but she had more life in her eyes than 1,000 teenagers. Eleanor. She was a holy terror, as her friends called her. She told me stories of her youth that made my heart race. She grew up in a world where women were expected to be quiet, but Eleanor was a storm. She told me about her friend Gert, how they would disappear every night. When the men in her lives asked where they were going, Eleanor would smile that sharp, mischievous smile and say, "Oh, we're just going down to Gert's to help her put up some wallpaper." They weren't putting up wallpaper. They were out in the world, driving down roads they weren't supposed to take, drinking beer and laughing at a world that tried to cage them. She once told me about the time they were driving along and saw a massive, wide road. She didn't care that it was an airport runway. She swung that car around and drove right down it while the planes were landing. That was Eleanor. She didn't wait for permission to exist. She didn't care about the boxes I had spent 70 years checking.
She cared about the wind on her face. She was a woman that was larger than life, a century of fire that refused to be dimmed by age.
But don't think it was easy. When you've lived 80 years, your heart has scars. On our very first date, I remember driving her home. I looked over and I noticed something that broke my heart. Her hand was gripped tight, white-knuckled on the door handle. She told me years later, "Arthur, if your hands had come anywhere near me that night, I was out that door." She was a woman who knew the value of her own soul, and she wasn't going to let anyone dim it again. It took us time. It took years of slow dances and quiet conversations to melt the ice I had built around my heart and the armor she had built around hers. We found each other in the twilight, but for us it was the dawn. We spent our days dancing in the kitchen to music only we could hear. We were finally, truly awake. Then came the year 2020, the year the world stopped breathing. Fear became the atmosphere. For a woman of 101 years, the world suddenly became a very small, very dangerous place. I sat by her side as the news reports flashed, talking about numbers and statistics. But to me, she wasn't a statistic. She was the woman who taught me how to taste the sugar in the coffee. As she began to grow weak, the realization hit me with the force of a tidal wave. I looked at her hands, those hands that had lived through a century of human progress, and I realized that I was losing the only thing that had ever mattered. The conflict wasn't just with the virus, it was with my own past. I realized I had lived 70 years on autopilot and only the last 20 truly alive. Time wasn't a concept anymore. It was a physical enemy sitting in the chair next to us. I want you to look at your bank account. Look at your career goals. Now, I want you to imagine you are 95. Does any of it matter? I've seen men die with millions in the bank and hearts as shriveled as raisins. I remember a friend of mine, a man of immense wealth. He spent 40 years staring at a screen so he could spend 2 years staring at a beach in retirement. He died 2 months after his gold watch ceremony. He never made it to the beach. Success without presence is a well-funded tragedy. We chase the next thing because we are afraid of the now. We buy things we don't need to impress people we don't like. Eleanor never did that. She lived a century because she knew that a life is made of seconds, not years. She didn't leave a pile of gold. She left a trail of light.
If I could go back, I wouldn't work harder. I wouldn't build a bigger company. I would have sat on the porch longer. I would have listened to my mother's stories instead of checking my watch. I regret the conversations I ended because I was too busy. I regret the trips I didn't take because they were too expensive. I look back at my children's lives and they are a blurred background to my career. I remember their graduations, yes, but I don't remember the smell of the air on the day they learned to ride a bike. I wasn't there. I was in a meeting. My life before Eleanor was coffee without sugar. It had no sweetness because I didn't allow myself to taste it. I regret the 70 years I spent being a ghost. At 95, everything is stripped away. The car in the driveway is just metal. The house is just wood and stone. The only things that survive the fire of old age are the people you loved and the risks you took. It sounds like a cliché, but that's the trick. The truth is always simple, and that's why you ignore it. Eleanor taught me that life is about subtraction, not addition. It's about stripping away the noise until only the connection remains. To be truly present in a room with someone you love, to feel the weight of their hand in yours, that is the only success that exists.
Eleanor taught her grandchildren how to fight, not with their fists, but with their souls. She used to say, "If you know you are right, you stick to it. Don't let anyone sway you. Do what is in your heart." Eleanor left this world at 101 years old. She wasn't a victim of the times. She was a victor over them. She died complete. And now my own sun is low in the sky. I can feel the shadows lengthening. Soon I will follow her for one last dance. But you are still here. You still have the sun on your face. If this letter from the future reached you, if it shook something inside your chest, then don't let it go to waste. This is why I created this channel, Letters from the Future. My purpose is not just to tell stories, but to act as a bridge between my generation and yours. I am here to share the raw, honest reflections of those who have already lived the years you are about to face, so you don't have to reach 95 to finally understand what matters. If you believe in this mission of choosing wisdom over futilities, please subscribe to this channel and join our community. It is your support that allows these voices to be heard. Click the like button so this message can wake up another soul through the noise of the world. Comment below and tell me, what is the one dream you've been putting off because you think you have time? I will read every word. And please share this video with someone you love, a friend, a sibling, or a partner, someone you don't want to see lose their life to the empty chase of success. Let this be the wake-up call you both need. I am Arthur Cota, and I loved a woman for a century. My question to you is simple, and it's the only one that matters. What are you waiting for? Wake up before the silence takes you too.